Today we're going to take a look at the ViPR user interface and do a couple of simple tasks that we would do as if we were a everyday user of ViPR. So we're going to log in as root, and right away we see that we have the ViPR user interface. We're going to come back to this very shortly. Because I'm logged in as root, I have the ability to go up here and either be a user or an administrator. So let's go and take a look at what the administrator window gives us. So this is where we'll do all of the administrative tasks. Right away we can see what version of ViPR we're running. We can see how much licensing for capacity we have. If we have the ViPR data services enabled, we can see which data services we have currently implemented in ViPR. So in this case we have object and HDFS. We can also monitor all of our physical assets in our ViPR environment as well as the virtual assets that we have. And because ViPR is a virtual machine that's deployed in an OVF, we have the ability to monitor every single virtual machine that we have in our environment. Now also in the administrative screen we have the ability to, this is where we're going to initially configure ViPR. But any new storage arrays, any new storage platforms that we ingest, we will configure them here in the environment as well as any new SAN switches or hosts. So this is where we can edit our service catalog and do various administrative tasks. We're not going to spend a lot of time in here. Let's go back to the user tab. So this is what we see if we're a customer, and as you can see we have recently used services here such as create block volume. This is things that we do a lot that we can reference quickly and not have to go to our service catalog. We can also monitor recent orders to get just for tracking and making sure to see what we've done in the past as a user. Let's go ahead and take a look at the service catalog, as that's really the best part about ViPR. So you'll notice that this is a very cloud-esque model that we used. We wanted to make this as friendly and easy to use as possible, and this is completely restrictive. So if you have a user that doesn't need to provision anything but block services, you can limit this to where there's only one view available to your customer. But you see we have quite a few different views here. Let's just go ahead and create a block storage. And now we have a few different options. We have the ability to create a new block volume. If we have a vPlex in our environment, we can actually migrate volumes from one storage platform to the other, all through ViPR. But for now, let's go ahead and just create a block volume for our host. So now we're brought to the screen where we can actually create the volume for our hosts, and this is the only screen that we'll have to use while provisioning storage. So this is really a one screen, one pane of glass utility here. So we're just going to keep the default for type of storage, and then we're going to select the host that we want to use. And this is also completely restrictive, so if you have the engineering team, you can only let them you have the choice to only let them see their host that they have access to. So let's say that we're an engineering team, and then we select the virtual storage array. This is basically a way for us as the administrator to manage multiple locations. So if we have, let's say, a location in Boston and a location in Seattle, we know from this virtual array which data center we're actually interacting with. Now in the virtual pool, this is a name that we give each tier of storage in a way that will allow our users to be able to easily reference that. So if we have test dev pool and maybe production pool, we name them something that we're going to remember. So we'll just pick low performance block for now, and then we'll move on to project. Now this is a way, and we'll look at ViPR SRM later, but this is how we do chargeback and showback, and this is how we handle multi-tenancy. So because I'm an engineering user, I'm going to select the engineering project, and then I'm going to give this a name, and we'll just call this John Engineering LUN. Now we can select the number of volumes. This is basically the number of LUNs that we want to provision. So we can do 1, we can do 10, 100, however many we want to do. And then we can type in the size of each one of those LUNs. This is completely, we can limit this as much as we want. So if we want Bob, the administrator, to only have the ability to create one 5 gig line at a time and no more, then we can do that. Now we're going to go ahead and place the order. and this is over. This is going to show the pre-check steps. So if we open pre-check, we can actually see all of the steps that are going on, and these are actually showing what APIs are being pushed from ViPR down to the storage, so we can actually literally see how ViPR is speaking to our storage arrays. And then just like that, in 21 seconds, we've successfully created our storage. Now, if this was an environment where we had brand new hosts, brand new switches, and storage that had no storage provisioned yet, ViPR actually not only creates the LUN, but then zones the switches, masks the HBAs on the hosts, and then presents the storage to the hosts and makes it usable for the host. So it does not only just storage, but also the whole storage environment, and automates that whole process. So that is provisioning storage with ViPR. I hope you enjoyed this demo.